Yes, welcome back. It is still the press, and if you see the smile across my face, I'm happy because my guests, they broke the stereotype this morning. I have my full house this morning. I have a lawyer in the house, a new face, and of course I have a usual suspect on the show. You get to meet them as I do the introduction. Despite the rain today, they defy the weather to be here on the show. I am so happy that we have a full house indeed. So let me start by doing the introduction, and as usual I'll start with the lady first. In the house this morning I have Uchenna Obidike. She's a legal practitioner as well as a social affairs analyst. Uche, it's so nice to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. It's
yes,
a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you're looking so beautiful. I must let you know that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for defying the weather to be here this morning. I appreciate you.
It's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Of course, we have, if you heard his voice, is a usual suspect on this show, and he is my friend, Habib Gajo, who is a public affairs analyst and one-time presidential aspirant in this nation. Habib, it's so nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
If you rolled your eyes, Habib, I am happy that you were here. Yes, it has taken me like how many weeks or months since the last time you were here to get you here. I know you're a busy man, but I appreciate you coming on the show this morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, so let us begin our discussion this morning. If you started the show with me, you actually have a snippet into what we are actually taking a look at this morning. We're taking a look at the police, the Nigerian police. If you recall, yesterday they came out in their numbers across all states of the nation, or some states of the nation, to protest their salary and of course their continued existence on the contributory pension scheme. They defied the rains, they defied everything you can think about as a march towards the National Assembly and of course the police headquarters to demand better standard of living. And like on the front page of one of our dailies this morning, they did spell out what they desire. On top of all of that is a dignity for the men in uniform. That is one of our topic this morning. And of course, a very pressing one is our fellow sister. Our fellow sister. Let me give you. The federal government has faulted a continuous bashing of Nigeria. It's amazing that one who left this nation almost as an adult suddenly has forgotten roots, as the British Conservative Party helmswoman Mrs. Kemi Badenoch. Some will call her Badenoch. It doesn't matter what you call her, she continues to bash us as a people. Some have said it's superiority complex. Some have said no, it is inferiority complex for one to forget so soon the water that she drank or the journey from which she traveled out of the shores of Nigeria. So this morning, ladies and gentlemen, there's other topics that we shall be taking a look at. But I want us to take a pause firstly as I take a peek into your state of mind of the state of the nation. We'll start at that before we delve into the topic proper. I'm happy that I have a lawyer in the house who will help us understand the legal aspect of some of these topics we shall be taking a look at this morning. But first, Uche, your state of mind on Nigeria this morning.
Well, you know, the situation in Nigeria is very saddening. It's unfortunate that Nigeria is beset by 1,000 courts. We are bleeding from every corner. You know, it's one storm after the other. It's very sad that this is happening. And with everything that is happening, what is even bothersome is that, you know, our leaders are just treating this with a wave of the hand. And it is the citizens that are at the mercy of all this. So the state of Nigeria is a very disturbing one today. It is not something anybody should ignore at this point in time. See our pensioners, senior citizens, they are protesting. These are aged people, elderly and vulnerable. They should be in their houses resting, enjoying their retirement. But what has happened? They're out on the streets, bearing placards, protesting.
define the weather. It was rainy all through yesterday. Define the elements just to get your voice heard.
Well, the weather, I'm sure when I was coming here, there was a lot of traffic because of the weather, you know. Also, contributory is the fact that with things happening in Nigeria, everybody is just lax. Nobody's happy with what's happening. So, and the weather is also contributory to that, yes.
Okay, Habib, I also want your take. I am not scared to hear or listen to whatever you have to say. The reason why you're here this morning, again, it's been a long while that I've seen you. I know you're a businessman, amongst other things that you do. Your state of mind on the state of the nation, Nigeria.
Well, first of all, Nigeria is a great nation.
Indeed.
Anywhere you see a Nigerian, you will identify him as a Nigerian, and a good one. We thank God that we have a country, and we have a great people with a great mind, with a great intellectuals all over Nigeria and outside Nigeria. We lead in so many countries. Before it was India and China were leading. Now Nigeria overtook India and China to be the first intellectuals or and entrepreneurs in most of the countries like United States and United Kingdom and some France and so many great countries. But in the other way, Nigeria is not doing well, being the greatest. We have pressing challenges. We have breakdown of law and order. We have insecurity, lack of justice, bad economy, insecurity, and lack of business like manufacturing. And we now our business now is trading, and we lack education and
So
health care.
Yes.
And health care. Most of our students now are the son of the elite who travel outside to acquire their certificate. And also we have our ruling class, the elite, who always visit other countries for medical tourism, and some of them died over there, while our hospitals are dilapidated without medical equipment, with cost of medication. And in education, we lack teachers, we lack the equipment, teaching instruments, and also our lecturers are going out Nigeria to go and our lecturers that were trained in Nigeria, are leaving Nigeria to give the benefit and the glory to foreign countries, while we are here. Our children are illiterate, they can't go to school, so insecurity has taken over our young men. So this is the pathetic one.
That's a lot on your mind for Nigeria. It's not any different from what Uche has told us this morning. And every time we have guests or analysts come on the show, the same is what we have as Nigerians. Our hope is that there is a shift, there is a change. We pray for, you do not pray for greatness. I think you were born great. You do not buy greatness. It's something that you inherit sometimes. And for Nigeria, we have the numbers as people, we have the resources as a nation. We are blessed beyond the mightiest that people think. So our desire is to see this reflect in our lives as Nigerians on the long run. All right, we'll take a short break as we start our discussion this morning. Our first discussion is on the police protest. We have a package that we're going to take right now, and when we return, we'll delve into the matters proper. Stay with us.
In a peaceful protest led by Showore members of retired police officers chanting pay police a living wage and proper pensions, the group brandished placards showing their demands for both serving and retired police officers.
Now, pay police! 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 Now, pay police!
Omoyele Showore called for an urgent upward review of the salaries and general welfare of junior police officers, noting that a majority of them earn between 57,000 naira and 140,000 naira monthly, depending on their rank.
Demands of NSAS was police welfare. So there was never a time we fought against police brutality that it did not encompass police well-being and welfare. So this is not the first time. We are just saying that Nigerian policemen, as you see them, are also workers. But unfortunately, they are workers that have no unions. And we want to use this opportunity to call on the Nigerian police to organize as a union, because there are police unions in the US. There are police unions all over the world for collective bargaining. There is no reason why they cannot have a union to bargain for their well-being. And our concern is the well-being of these men, how they get their entitlements for those who are serving and those who are retired and those who are dead as well, whose family members have not been paid their entitlements. We are asking that there's no policeman in Nigeria that should not have a life insurance. There is no policeman in Nigeria that should earn less than 500,000 naira per month. The reason is that you cannot ask the police to be guarding a bank and the bank manager is better paid than the police that is protecting the money.
The retired officers claim that they have been pushed to the wall with the government's unresponsive attitude to their yearnings about what they tagged discriminatory pension scheme, adding that all the police officers should be removed from the contributory pension scheme.
The question is this: that means the police organization are going to have about 3 different kinds of pension this thing, because people have retired under the DBS, and lots of us who have retired now under contributory pension, and the so-called program they say they are putting in place now for people who retire in 5 years' time. What kind of disorganized organization is this? That is one. And two, I'm surprised that our leaders, the police leadership, are not copied from the military. The military, when they were pulling out, they pull out with the least constable among the least private among them, and that is a good commander. But the situation whereby a commander is segregating.
According to Showore, the officers involved believe their current salaries leave them practically unemployed, and they have chosen to register their frustration through a nationwide protest.
Yes, welcome back. As you can see, we're starting our discussion, and that is just a pick for you there to actually understand the gravity of the situation this morning as we take a look at police welfare. And I shall be starting with Uchenna Obidike, who is a legal practitioner and social affairs analyst, my guest this morning. From the top, we're taking a look at police welfare. You saw the video, and of course retired police personnel coming out to protest their welfare, and the crux of the matter is actually their continued stay at the contributory pension scheme. They are protesting better living standard for police. They are protesting the pension scheme, as it were. And part of the chanting taken from the front page of the Daily Sun was pay police a living wage and proper pension, you know, as a group brandished placards showing their demands for both serving and retired police officers. So I really want you, from the top, want your take on retired police officers having to come out to make their demands finally. As you rightly know, they've been undercurrents of these issues. It is not something that is new. It has been on the news for a long time, but finally we're having the breaking point with retired police personnel, like you mentioned, senior citizens living their comfort zone, defying the weather and coming out to protest for proper identification and of course proper wages. Your reaction to the protest?
As I earlier said, this is a very embarrassing tragedy that's befalling Nigeria as a nation. We shouldn't have our elderly and vulnerable citizens out there protesting over things that should ordinarily come to them. Let me start by saying that the way a society treats its elderly and vulnerable is a measure or a test of governance of that society. Because when you have senior citizens protesting like this, people who should be resting, then you know that they are deep-rooted issues. Institutional corruption. It is deep-rooted. And I also have to say this, that, you know, pension is not a privilege. These are people's rights. It is not a privilege. Those people out there are entitled to that because the duty, the welfare of its citizens is the primary duty of the government of Nigeria under Section 14B of the 1999 Constitution. It is the primary concern of the government of Nigeria. So we shouldn't have our elderly and vulnerable citizens protesting about things that should ordinarily come to them. We have the Pension Reform Act of 2014, which provides that the government shall manage the pension fund, the contributory pension fund. So what do we have now? What is happening? Yes, we have issues of corruption in Nigeria. We have issues where people are not held accountable for their failures to do things. That is why we found ourselves here. And you know, I said it before that, you know, we have a lot of issues. Like, we are bleeding on every corner. We are bleeding on every corner. Nigeria is facing a lot of issues, and everything is happening all at once. Everything is happening everywhere all at once. So when you're even dealing with this, another one springs up and you are distracted. Like, sometimes I wonder how our leaders, you know, even sleep at night, because we the citizens are even disturbed by this. We can even hardly sleep at night. But you see, they seem to be doing a very good job at the art of sleeping, because, you know, we are complaining and nobody is saying anything. Now, these police officers are people who sacrificed their youth. They worked under dangerous and strenuous situations. What they need now is access to their pension. We don't want a situation, they don't want a situation where pension is even delayed. Why would pension be delayed? You know, you even find situations, because when they retire, they're supposed to be paid a lump sum in form of gratuity. But you know, the other day I was watching the news and somebody said, since he retired since 11 years ago, he was just paid, I think that was like yesterday, just 1.7 million naira as a lump sum of his gratuity. And this is somebody who's sacrificed 25, 35 years in service of the nation. Now, when there's a problem with the payment of pension, when we have issues like this, overriding issues like this, the problem we face is disloyalty in service and lack of service effectiveness. Because people are watching, the young generation is watching. We have people seeing their fathers on TV protesting, carrying placards. Now, what do you tell this generation, the upcoming generation? We have the Gen Zs. What are the characteristics? They're very alert, they're very smart, aware of they're very cutthroat of what is happening. And we want people to go into service with loyalty. What do you expect? People are going to try to look for ways to amass wealth. Nobody would see their father protesting about, you know, the barest minimum and expect, I will not caution themselves against that. If I find myself in that position, naturally, that is the human instinct. You will not want to find yourself in situations like this. Yes.
Yes. Uche, thank you so much for that start. As we delve into these issues proper, I want you to take a breather as we bring in Habib to let us get a feel of waking up to the protest yesterday by these retirees storming the streets, heading to the National Assembly, not just Abuja, in some other major cities of Nigeria. They came out to protest so their voices are heard. Your reaction to that, probably you take from what Uche just said.
Yeah, she said so many things. First of all, I want to start with police is your friend.
but is police our friend?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. First of all, honestly, police reform is long overdue. Secondly, their salary need to be reviewed, and also the pension, contributory pension scheme, which they want to, you understand, because there is a reason why they are not part of that contributory pension scheme in the first place. You understand? The reasons are many, you understand, but now that they are agitating for it and they want it, then I think the reform should carry it along. You understand? Because there is no way politicians will increase their salary for themselves and also increase their pension and even dictate to how much they will earn after leaving office and how many houses they will be getting after leaving office. You understand? So, and you abandon who protect you, protect your family, and protect the whole country. You understand? Like Barrister said, they work in a dangerous and heinous one. So these are issues that need to be discussed or should be the narrative. You understand? Look, for example, now we all know the salary is no longer a takeaway home. Not only for police.
Take you home anymore.
Yes, not only for police.
The take-home salary can take you home.
Yes. Secondly, even the pension contributory scheme, we have seen how the federal government borrows from it. You understand? And we never hear they have returned it, and we have issues from other pension collectors. You understand? So it's one of the issues, but I like what the Inspector General of Police, Gajo-public, speech yesterday, that he said we have doing a lot, we are reforming, where all these grievances has been carried out in the process of reforming the police. You understand? But the previous Inspector General of Police has not done anything. You understand?
Okay.
There is no attempt of even reforming the police. Is this Inspector General of Police, Gajo-public, that is taking it up, and that is why he is saying that police should calm down, and they need to have a one narrative. You understand? One narrative in the sense that the living condition, you understand, the living condition and their salary, their pension is one of the good narrative. You understand? So, but protesting again for police officers is another is out of the way, but we need to look the other side, that most of these retired police officers, some of them have gotten some injuries in the course of their duties, maybe a gunshot, maybe a violent attack by hoodlums and criminals, armed robbers and terrorists, you understand? So definitely they will be on medication, and so on and so forth. So you and now in Nigeria, due to the fall of the economy and the rise of poverty, is very hard for a retiree to feed himself and to medicate himself, and also to take care of his family. The federal government need to do something. You understand? Though I know the National Assembly, the praise singers in the National Assembly will always tramp on it and trying to match it to the ground. To the ground.
Let me bring the barrister back. Let us take a look again, because there was something you talked about, lump sum. I have an elder sister who was retired a long time ago. She's having issues with her pensions also. And we're having a discussion, and I was asking, you're supposed to be paid your lump sum. And she says, no, they pay her per month. So she's not trying to change our pensioners or where she gets her money from. It came as a shocker to me, even before we had this incident that happened. I couldn't wrap my head around it. You're supposed to be paid a lump sum. She said yes. She was promised she would be given 6 million initial payment, and now the story has changed. They're telling her, no, we'll pay you in bits. You get a little amount of money per month. And you know, as a retiree, as a senior citizen, this is a serious problem for her. And we, as our younger ones, we try as much as possible to contribute what we have to ensure that, you know, it does not affect her emotionally, because we notice that, you know, this is affecting her emotionally. So I have someone in my house. We have a situation in my house that we're trying to handle. So I can actually relate to senior citizens coming out and holding placards, you know, to ensure that their voices are heard. But again, let us take a look at one of the placards carried yesterday. It said senators are earning 30 million naira per month. Police officers earn 35,000 naira per month as a retired ASP. They're asking for decent salaries and, of course, dignity. I'm asking from the law point of view. Again, another point raised by Habib, the fact that often the government borrows from these pension funds. We hear that they borrow, but we never hear them return the monies. So, Uche, I really want you from the implication of the law on this issue right now.
At this point, I would sadly say that there is nothing Nigerian government cannot do at this point. If they are borrowing from the pension fund without remitting, you know, that is why I say that we are bleeding on all corners. You know, the administration of things in Nigeria is so marred by irregularities that even when you want to investigate, you find yourself at a deadlock. You don't know where to start. You don't know where to continue from. That is a problem. You know, we shouldn't have issues like this. Okay, now look at this. Look at these politicians. See their earnings, and look at these pensioners who have been earning same for many years now. You know, Section 210, subsection 3 of the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, provides that, you know, there should be harmonization of pension. This pension should be reviewed. The earnings should be reviewed every 5 years, and that is how it should be. But looking at the situation, does it look like anything has been reviewed? You know, salary, we are talking about the current minimum wage. Was it reflected with respect to the pension or the earnings of pensioners? They are still earning. Like, it's as if when you retire in Nigeria, you're just forgotten, like you're left over. Oh, you're pushed aside. All those are not reflected. And people, then we also have the issue of pension fraud or poor management of records. That is why you have people saying, you know, when there are stated or stipulated ways of doing things, you see people coming to say, no, do it like this, because
they're trying to cut corners.
Cut corners, because when you retire, you're supposed to at least get a lump figure, a lump sum, respect to your gratuity. So why are we having people tell people, come today, come next month? It shouldn't be like that. See, I've already said that pension, retirement is a privileged service to the nation. You've served, so you're entitled to something, your pension, which is your right. You shouldn't have to be fighting about things like this. That is why when you hear people saying, oh, Nigeria is corrupt, Nigeria is this one, you hear people shouting, no, you are not a patriot, you're not fighting for your country. When we have this kind of overwhelming issues, the only thing left for us is to have babies protesting, and I'm sure if they have that opportunity, they also have things to protest about, because our pensioners are on the street. Like, this is, I don't think any situation overrides this at this point, because the elderly are in trouble, and the young generation are watching this and preempting what will happen to them when they get to that age. And you expect transparency, you expect loyalty, you expect effectiveness in service. You don't get that. That is it, because it is garbage in, garbage out. And the problem I have in all this is that, you know, Nigeria has a way of, you know, just putting a plaster on a bullet wound. I'm sure they are going to address this thing, because the elders have entered the streets, which is even a taboo customarily, to protest, because that should be what children should be doing. I'm sure Nigeria, of course, you know them, their fire brigade approach, they would momentarily tackle this now.
Okay. All right, if you just joined us, this is The Press. We'll take a short break, but when we return, we want you to know that the phone lines will be open so you can call in and be part of the conversation. Take a break for a little bit of water. When we return, the conversation continues. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back. Thanks for still being there. The phone lines are open now. You can call in and be part of the conversation this morning as we take a look at police reforms and, of course, the continuous knock by Kemi Badenoch, all the way from the United Kingdom. But first and foremost, our focus is the protest by retired police personnel yesterday across the states of Nigeria and the FCT. And my guests are still here as police demand decent salaries, and to police slavery, pensions for retired officers, and dignity for those in uniform. All right, we're talking about the pensions. Part of what they demand for is dignity for those in uniform. Before the break, Kemi, you can imagine Kemi on my mind. Uche actually made us understand that, you know, with corruption in the system, it is garbage in, garbage out. What you give is what you get. I've had the opportunity to be close to police officers, have friends in the police barracks somewhere in Lagos, and the living condition is nothing to write home about. They've been doing a lot of reforms and renovations in the barracks. We appreciate that, but again, it trickles from the top to the bottom. But however, if you want to make the corrections, you need to start from the bottom upwards. That is what we've realized as Nigerians. Now, talking about dignity, you started by saying police is your friend. A lot of Nigerians will argue with you, it does not apply. It does not apply. How do you bring dignity to a people who are the ones who protect you as a nation if you do not pay them the adequate salary that is commensurate with the times? You talked about the law asking that the salaries be reviewed every five months. It is every 5 years, I beg your pardon. It is in the Constitution, but is that being done is the question we're asking. Talking about dignity, you can only give what you have. We shouldn't forget the NSAS demonstrations that happened recently in our history, and you know, you cannot link or you cannot, you know, remove what led to that. the causes of what led to that event in our history to what we're talking about today. Again, we're talking about dignity for the police. How do you bring dignity to the police force in your own words?
You see, we were in this country when the pension was so bad that officers in Nigeria are getting 3,000, 7,000. The highest I think is 11,000 to 12,000.
So sad.
Before Umar Musa Yar'Adua became president, where the retired military officers are dumped in Wuse Zone 3 under the rain, under the sun, you understand, in the sun, and vulnerable to motorists who always run over them and kill many of them. Some of them are sick, some of them will trek from, and eventually they became beggars. And what the then President Olusegun Obasanjo said, no, we don't know them, we don't have their record. Some of them join military without documentation and so on and so. You understand? That narrative came on, and when Umar Musa Yar'Adua became president, he said, no, we have to do something. You understand?
Yes.
He said all of them should go back to their state. He will do something
about it.
And even police, at that time, it was a table payment for all the officers. Umar Musa Yar'Adua abolished it and made it e-payment. That's alert, and that's how reform the pension board. You know, even like she said, like the barrister said, corruption, because the pension board was, the corruption in that pension board is even worse than the whole corruption in Nigeria. You understand? Because when you are eating from the blood of personnel who went to war and get injured or serve the nation or died on the way, and the families will not benefit from anything. So Umar Musa Yar'Adua reformed the pension board and create all these contributory schemes, so and that's how we came about it. You understand?
Let's just pause a little bit to take our first call, Habib. Let us pause a little bit. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for your patience. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. You are on to SND calling from Lagos. Good morning, Honorable. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly respond on the issue of this senior citizen protesting. Obviously, it's quite a disturbing issue. You'll agree with me. We are always advocating on patriotic engagements. So with this kind of scenario, if I ask you, how are we going to encourage, the next generation at least to get involved in serving their nation? If really a police officer who happens to be the internal, security personnel, if we are doing the right thing, believing me, in this our banditry issue, insecurity, all these are internal issues, and it has to do with the police officers. So there's no encouragement. Those who left the service, their welfare is nowhere to be found. Some of them are battling with house rent. Some of them are battling with school fees. Some of them are, in fact, there is no provision. In developed countries, there is a provision, 4 months before retirement, there is provision on self-employment servicing, where after retirement, whatever you get, you're going to utilize it, so you continue shouldering your responsibility. But in our nation, the case is not the same. So for how long shall we remain in this present predicament?
Okay, so that's the question is asking, how long shall we remain in the present predicament? I will want you to conclude on Yar'Adua. You were talking about
yes.
the E before we go to the barrister.
Yeah, so he reformed the pension board, and we now have a pension contributory scheme.
Yes.
He now increased the salary of police and all the other personals. You understand? And they now got their payment through alert, that e-payment. So he reduced, or he cut, or he ended the corruption in pension and corruption in police. You understand? Before, policemen don't know how much is his salary, but through e-transaction, he will now tell you, this is my salary. So that's subtle one. So anytime we have a military president, military in Babariga or in other attires that come to rule Nigeria, you will always have this crisis. You understand? Because they are from it and they don't believe in it, but they benefit from it. All their life is on it. You can't tell me Obasanjo has not benefited from military welfare, military, all the entitlement, pensions, and so on and so forth. So up till today, he is still receiving his pension intact. You understand? And he has been built a lot of houses in Nigeria. So also General Muhammadu Buhari. You understand? Now the ball is in the court of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So we'll take
as a Democrat.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So he needs to reform Nigerian police, and he should take the step of Umar Musa Yar'Adua and did the right thing.
So this is where you come in. Talking
you.
about the reforms now. We're taking a look at this present administration. According to what Habib has said, he has given us a history from Yar'Adua. Now that journey has taken us to this present times, and this situation is actually happening in his administration right now. So talking about reforms, and again talking about dignity for those in uniform. How do we marry both to get the results that we desire, not just for these police officers, who also are brothers, our husbands, our relatives, and of course the ones who protect us as citizens?
You know, he mentioned something about corruption. You know, my problem with Nigeria is that it's as if everybody is trying to out-corrupt themselves, as if there's a corruption Olympics going on, and you know, so we're all going for gold in that aspect. Because, you know, while we blame the leaders, we must also hold ourselves accountable. The people running or managing the pension, you know, fund are not our leaders. We have people there. So we have to, all of us have to be held accountable. We need our pensioners to be paid timely, their pensions timely. We need adequate medical coverage, healthcare coverage for our pensioners. We need the pension fund to be harmonized to reflect the current earnings of Nigerians. You cannot have a pensioner who retired in 2000 still earning 30,000 as pension, monthly pension, when the minimum wage has been revised and increased. It doesn't reflect that. Welfare also entails providing vocational training for some of these people, providing access to loans for small businesses, providing even emotional support in ways of counseling. We can do all that. It's not all about money. You don't just pay people money and neglect them. But the problem is that they are not even receiving the money. So there are a lot of holes in this whole thing. So everybody has to be held accountable. The issues like this have to be investigated.
To the fullest.
Yes, so that the people that are erring are brought to the books. nobody should go scot-free.
Go scot-free.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to take a pause there because we have one more topic to discuss. The phone lines are open. You're not calling. I wonder why. Please call. This is your show. We're just here talking as much as we can, but the voice of the people from across the TV set is also what we want to hear. So please call in so that we can take a look at these issues. Now, as we go on a break, I'm going to just launch the package that we're going to bring back. We're taking a look at Kemi. Let me give you our full names. Did I put it here? Okay, I think I wrote it somewhere. You know, this is a Nigerian woman who left this nation almost at adulthood, and of course today she is the British Conservative Party leader, and somehow it is not matching for us at all. Nigerians are kicking, the federal government is kicking, you know, at a comment, and the recent comment that she made concerning citizenship, which is not true. The fact that as a Nigerian woman in the UK, children cannot, you know, partake or become citizens of the nation while the law says otherwise. We'll take that package, and when we return, we'll take a look at that discussion. Stay with us.
Nigerians would not tolerate that. That's not something that that many countries would accept. There are many people who come to our country, to the UK, who do things that would not be acceptable in their countries. It's virtually impossible, for example, to get Nigerian citizenship. I had that citizenship by virtue of my parents. I can't give it to my children because I'm a woman. Yet loads of Nigerians come to the UK, stay for a relatively brief period of time, acquire British citizenship. We need to stop being naive. Nigerians would not tolerate that. That's not something that that many countries would accept. There are many people who come to our country, to the UK, who do things that would not be acceptable in their countries. It's virtually impossible, for example, to get Nigerian citizenship. I had that citizenship by virtue of my parents. I can't give it to my children because I'm a woman. Yet loads of Nigerians come to the UK, stay for a relatively brief period of time, acquire British citizenship. We need to stop being naive.
Yes, welcome back. You saw that small interview that she conducted with the CNN, and we're bringing that to you as we take a step away from the police reform. Of course, the phone lines are still open. You can call in if you still want to talk about our first topic for the morning, even as we move over to our next topic. There you have Badenoch talk about citizenship, you know, the passing of citizenship. One thing I know, I don't have the law, but I have a lawyer in here who will help us understand that statement coming from Kemi this morning. So Uche, there you have Kemi Badenoch once again hitting us right below the belt, saying something that is not true about our home country. Somewhere she stayed until almost 16 years before she left for the UK. So again, I'm going to say this like a broken record. Some people say it is inferiority complex. Some people say it's superiority complex. I'm asking, why does this lady kick Nigerians, our home country, the way she does? Again, let us take a focus on the latest that she said, which I know is not true.
Well, you know, the truth is that somebody must call a spade a spade. I know in her comments must have cut across as being hostile, born out of hostility. But I do not believe that the entirety of all her statements are falsities. On the issue of citizenship, of course, that is not the current position of the law. That is not the position of the law, because anybody who was born in Nigeria before or after the independence, or whose parents or grandparents are Nigeria, is automatically a Nigerian. So that the statement she made does not represent the true position of the law.
Now, let us come back a little bit. Yeah. So what you're saying is, for the purpose of this discussion and for the purpose of a statement, for clarity, if you're part Nigerian, even if you're just part Nigerian, and you have your child outside the shores of Nigeria, your children automatically are Nigerians, they automatically take on that citizenship as Nigerians, as well as the citizenship of the country of their birth. We want to educate Kemi this morning, and from the legal point of view, can you reiterate that once again so she can hear?
Yes, that is the provision of Section 25 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Anybody who was born in Nigeria before or after the independence, or anybody whose parents or grandparents are Nigerians or born in Nigeria, or are part of indigenous communities in Nigeria, is automatically a Nigerian. If your grandmother is a Nigerian and you were born in Korea, you're a Nigerian. So that statement is very laughable, but I'm sure she was not guided on the true and current position of the law.
We'll take a look at her being guided or later. Let us take this call.
Yes,
hello, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, my dear presenter.
Yeah, what's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. I was going through the screen, I saw your program, and I became interested.
Where are you calling from, please? What's your name?
Chief Davis from Benin.
Oh, please go ahead. Go ahead, Chief Davis.
So this police protest is supported by everybody in the country because the police is very important to us. Remove them and there's chaos and anarchy all over the land. They are more important than the soldiers because the soldiers even don't do anything. Look at, they have been fighting Boko Haram for a long time now, nothing happened. So please let them increase the welfare of the police officers at men. It is very, very bad to give them 5,000 a month as a retiree, and all these things will be looking, seeing from their from the newspapers and so forth. Everybody is in support of them. Please do the police well, and the country will be well. What is wrong with this Nigeria?
Thank you.
What's happening?
So that's a question. What's happening? We're finding answers to. That's the reason why we're doing this show. Okay, so let's go back to the present discussion. Yes. It's strange that one would imagine that Kemi, with all her education, with all her reading, with the full knowledge of the British law, will not know that as a Nigerian, whether you're half Nigerian and you give birth to children outside the shores of the nation, your children automatically are born with the status of the citizenship of Nigeria. You know, with that you've acquired, and people just say it's just a usual way of knocking us down, and it's not because she's not aware of the law.
Well, as I said, her statement does not represent the true position of the law, and I don't align with it. But it could, we don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. It could have been an oversight, a miseducation or misconception about the state of facts. So we are going to allow her, we are going to leave her at that. Like, this could have been a mistake. But I do not totally agree with people saying that she is just bashing Nigeria for bashing's sake.
Why not?
There are truths, a lot of truths in what she's saying.
Okay.
You know, I've said it, and I'll keep reiterating it, that, you know, Nigeria is beset by 1,000 courts. And I always say that we are bleeding on every corner. It is one storm after the other. And everything is happening everywhere all at once. Like, we are just everywhere, dealing with a lot of things at once. That is why I even raised the issue of how do these people sleep? Now, this woman is speaking, she's a Nigerian. As you said, she grew up in Nigeria. She is speaking out of her personal experiences. Why she said Nigeria is marred by corruption, institutional corruption, police brutality, there is evidence in what she's saying. We are all testaments to that fact. We had the issue of what they call the EndSARS, against police brutality. She said it in one of her statements that her brother, the police harassed and brutalized her brother, and even confiscated his bag or stole it in her own story, you know. So she's speaking from her own experiences. And why some people may see it as lack of patriotism, but she has her own allegiance to the United Kingdom. She doesn't want the UK to be like Nigeria. I will not blame her. Because while we are trying to be patriotic, we have to tell ourselves the truth. If we don't speak out, if we don't say the truth, other people from other countries will come and speak the truth for us.
Okay, Habib, this
Thank
is where
you.
I want you to come in right now. You heard Uche say, have a say on this brouhaha with our dear sister in the UK. I really want your reaction to this continuous bashing from this woman. Again, taking a look at this latest comment. I'm sure Farid, what's his name? Zakaria knows. I know he knows the truth. He must have done his research, and I could see the look of on his face while she was saying that. Do you think she's doing too much? People have said it's either a superiority complex or inferiority complex. What is the problem? Why the bashing?
I agree with that superiority complex, and first of all, you see, this is what happened when a slave master has incorporated you into his own company. You understand? Despite that, Britain has colonized Nigeria. Britain and European allies has come to Africa and carry us as a slaves. You understand? So now she got an opportunity to go back to a slave master. You understand?
This is another angle.
Yes, please.
You understand? Now she has gone back to slave master, so that she will now be distracting Nigerians or calling Nigerians names to impress her Lord Masters. You understand? Having the opportunity to be in the parliament, she is not the first Nigerian to be in the parliament in the first place. She is not the first Nigerian to be in United States United States Congress. You understand? And so many of them, and even the last the former joint military chief of staff of United States of America happened to be a Nigerian he happened to be from Nigeria, you understand, but he was born there. You understand, from Igbo extraction. You understand? So we have so many Nigerians all over in France, in Germany, and in so many who are members of the parliament, who are ministers, who are elected, you understand, as governors, as mayors, and so on and so forth, and serve in a military or in paramilitary in all over the world. You understand? Most of the universities in United States and United Kingdom and France and Germany, most of them are headed by Nigerians. Most of their faculties and so on are headed by Nigerians. You understand? Even in the Harvard University, you have them. So Kemi is not, you are not the only one. And whatever you said about Nigeria, it will reflect on you because you were born in Nigeria. You can't remove your skin. You can't change your skin. When Michael Jackson changed his skin, he became a horror. So if she like, she should change her skin and become a white woman. You understand? But the fact is the fact. Like the barrister said, is not the position of the law is not the fact. You understand? We know how citizen and state is in Nigeria. Maybe she has not finished her education in Nigeria, so she wouldn't have known citizen and state and the obligation of the citizen to the state and the state to the citizen, and the position of the section 20. You understand? Yes. When you are born or you are grand
just hold on a moment,
or before independent and after the independence, you are a citizen of Nigeria. So
Please, Habib, let's take this call. You said, okay, yes, please, yes. Habib, please, let's take this call. Go ahead, please.
People that are abroad and they're exposed to some certain stage, when they want to talk about their country, they will be talking bad about their country so that they can gain favor more in their adopted country. Somebody like Kemi, that shouldn't be coming out from our mouth. To get Nigerian citizenship is even more easier than to get that of British citizenship. Before you can get the British citizenship, they have to profile you thoroughly before they give you. But in Nigeria here, with our porous border, you can enter from any part. Just bear a certain name, Ghanaian Salami, and that is all. Or you be Abubakar Abdullahi. You will see yourself being registered as a Nigerian. No much profiling. So it helps me to hear from somebody that is supposed to be backing us or giving us a kind of support in the international space, is not talking down on us. That's too bad. And let me tell you, she is the speaker, she is the leader of the Conservatives right now. You think they will not, I don't think they will allow her to reach the premiership. She can't. Because these people, I know them properly. I know them seriously. She has reached her peak, but being the premier of Great Britain, it is very difficult for her. Thank you, and continue your good job, Captain TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Beautiful world.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Now, because of time, I would just want to shift a little bit back to Uche.
No, I haven't finished.
Okay.
Yes,
okay, finish.
So she is not the only. I said maybe she is not educated in Nigeria.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So she don't know the history of her her country, the country of origin, or she was born in Nigeria. She don't know Nigeria as much as when she traveled. You see, citizenship is. Let me tell you, Obama's father was a Kenyan. When he became a president, even before he became a president, when he was a junior congressman, he went to Kenya. He visited his family. He sat with them. He ate with them. He drank with them. He spent his holidays with them. Why? Because this is his root. You understand? So I don't know how Kemi, because you want to rock the media, you want to go viral, you want to make you understand? Like I said, if she like, she should change her skin. She will not become the Queen of England. You understand? And she will not be the Prime Minister of United Kingdom.
Well, we don't know about that.
Definitely.
We don't know about that yet.
You know them, they are racist. You know, she is even there maybe for a reason. You know, they will not allow you to reach that position without a reason. You understand? So definitely they will use her and undermine Nigeria and Nigerian laws and Nigerian government, you understand, by bashing Nigeria all the time so that she will gain more relevance. Popularity. Because there is a chunk population for more than, I think, up to 5 million or over 5 million Nigerians residing in UK or have become a citizen. Maybe her own citizenship is even by registration or by what did you call it?
Let's give Uche a chance, because we don't have much time anymore as we round up on our discussion. I still want you to let us understand. Well, you've already told us that you know, you really don't blame her for the bashing, that people should listen to some of the things that she's saying. But this is a Nigerian who was put there for, I think, for me, for a purpose. All countries have their problems. Even Britain, where she is, they have their problems. But the continuous bashing of Nigerians is what is so worrisome. So as we conclude, the expectations of Nigerians is calling hard to stop. If you have nothing positive to say about the nation, every time you're called or put on the spot, you should stop talking about the nation completely. As we round up, I want you to give us your say. You know, if you're sitting down with this woman today, like we're sitting now, what would you tell her?
Well, I agree with you to an extent, being that, you know, she's also allowed to say good things about Nigeria. Nigeria is a great nation.
She has nothing good to say about
Yes,
Nigeria.
we are marred by a lot of issues, but Nigeria is a great nation. But we still have to pay attention to the truth. We have to sift the truths from her statements, because as I said, her statements in their entirety are not all falsities. There are elements of truth in all of them. So we have to sift out the truth. Now it's just like separating the chaff from the wheat now. Separate them, yes.
We agree with you,
yes.
But those problems that she is talking about Nigeria, don't they exist in United Kingdom? There is corruption in United Kingdom.
Yes.
In fact, the United Kingdom in Europe is the most corrupt nation. You understand?
Yes.
They have police brutality, they have poverty, they have everything we have in Nigeria. So there is no difference.
Yes.
So why is she blowing us? Continue.
Well, so while other nations have all these issues, no nation is without issues, but the problem is our handling of the issues, because we have so neglected our issues that they are now overwhelming. You know, we have our elders protesting on the streets, we have issues of insecurity, we have issues of what they call it, lack of food, you know, inadequate supply of food, we have issues of inflation. A lot of countries have these issues, but when your own is out, because you have to you have to settle or treat your issues at home, but when you allow it to escalate that everybody hears about it, when it becomes overwhelming that the whole world is talking about it, it becomes a problem. So what she's saying is a pointer to reforms in Nigeria. We should be talking about reforms. So, you know, we should be able to talk to her. In our defense, we say, no, what you're saying is untrue. Nigeria is not corrupt. Nigeria is not this one. But sadly, we cannot elegantly say that, because she's still saying some truths. My problem with her way of, her manner of speech is that, you know, she has decided to just sideline the good issues or the good things about Nigeria, because Nigeria is not totally bad. We have, you know, we have very good tourism in Nigeria. You know, we are very welcoming, but Nigeria is not bad. But we also have our own issues. So while everybody feels that she may be hostile, some people, a majority feel that she may be hostile, she's speaking from experiences which may have been traumatizing to her. She talked about how she came to the UK with just $1 after her father served Nigeria and worked in Nigeria for a lot of years.
So this is payback.
So it is not payback. This is just her psychology. This is just a traumatic effect of what happened to her.
Okay, well,
yes.
we don't have
Yes.
time. I wish we could go on and on. I know Habib has a lot on the tips of his tongue, and he wants to
I think she should copy from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Emeka Anyaku, and Charles Soludo, who were in World Bank, and Geoffrey Inyama, who is in United Nations General Secretary, who were called to serve in Nigeria to contribute their own quota to give what they have to Nigeria. But Kemi, I'm sorry, if you want, come to Nigeria, meet us in Nigerian media. Don't go to CNN, don't go to BBC. Come to Nigeria, come to MTA, where we will bash you very well.
No time. I want to appreciate my guest this morning, Uchenna Obidike, legal practitioner and social affairs analyst. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, Habib Gajo, a public affairs analyst and friend to the Captain House. And of course, everyone who called this morning, we do appreciate you. Tomorrow is another day on the press, same with Thursday and Friday. It's Monday to Friday. Make sure you keep a date on the press as we reach you from this station. My name is ANIRE BINITIE. Stay positive. Keep your head up.
Hi.
Bye for now.
Bye.